Hello, hello,
Hello.
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 everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm so happy to
Welcome.
see I
Yeah.
picked the right intro, just saying. Was point
Good.
five.
It's good. Welcome to the
0.5.
release party, Home Assistant 2026.5. Ooh, this is an
You had to
exciting
think about
one.
that.
Yes. No, I was like
What year
6,
are we
5,
in?
5, 6. Yes, but this is great. This is going to be an
Something.
exciting release. I think it's been, is it the biggest release of the year? Maybe it's the biggest release of the year.
I think it might even be well, not like the year's not over yet, Paul's. Like we're not
That's-
even halfway through, just saying. But that said, this might be in terms of contributions, maybe the biggest release we ever did. If we
Yeah.
look at how much contributions we merged. Yes.
So that's kind of crazy. Hey, but before we dive in, let's do a quick round of introductions according to Missy's secret order. I'll start. My name is Paulus Kroutse. I'm the president of the Open Home Foundation, founder Home Assistant, and glad to be here.
I am Missy Quarry, the community manager at the Open Home Foundation and your head of shitposting. Oh, you messed
No fair. All right, in that case, I'm Keith. I work at Nabukasa on ESP Home and hardware and software and all sorts of fun things. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Frank. I'm the lead of the Home Assistant project at the OHF, and I'm here to bring you a release every month and the release notes and such.
And I'm Laura. I'm a product person at the Open Home Foundation, mostly working right now on Home Assistant in interactions, which is dashboards and all other fun stuff.
Voice.
And voice.
Yeah.
You have to excuse me. I see I still have the Easter thing in my name. What the hell is up with that? Let's fix it. There we
Good.
go.
It's been since Easter, since our last update. Thanks whoever called out my audio. It selected to the wrong mic for some reason. Anyway, it's on the right mic now.
Loud and clear now.
Right.
Loud and clear. As Paula said, we have a huge release to dive into, and we have some interesting people here to talk about that. It's cool to see you here, Keith, as well, because we have something very special that you guys, you and Paulus are at least very enthusiastic about and passionate about. We will kick that off in a minute. But we first should talk about something we did earlier this month.
Yes.
I don't know.
State of
It
the
was
Open Home.
small. That wasn't that big. It was just a
It
small
was-
thing.
It was a huge
I hope everybody here had time to see it because, we really put up a great show here. I think one of the things, by the way, I said it as well in the after show, but we hire like the brightest minds, and then we're like, oh, now just go sit on a stage in front of 260 people and just like talk about all this stuff without like any speaker notes, like go. And but
It
yeah,
was
went well.
fun.
I hope. Yes.
So
I hope
Paulus is
everybody
your-
had the time to watch this. Like, it's been great talking about all the things that this year, contrary to other years, we kind of put a different spin on it. We're really focused on like how are we building? Like, what is it that we're doing, right? What is it like? What is the Open Home Foundation, right? People just think, oh, that's just the people that make Home Assistant. Yeah, we do this full time. How do we do that, right? Like, and why, and how can you be involved? And so I think we hit all those notes, and I think it was a really good. The content was really good.
I think so too. It
Yeah.
was very, very different, focusing on like how we try to work with all of you watching, right? How we do and build our projects like Home Assistant in the open and what it takes. But more importantly, how this is more than just code. Like open source is often seen as just sharing code online. I think we've been working very hard in the past few years to break that, right? We're not all programmers, we're not all coders, and we try to include everybody, including you watching right now on the stream. And the whole live stream, the whole State of the Open Home was focused around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. We're trying to not do big announcements at State of the Open Home anymore. We want it to be focused on what we're doing, where the future's going. But some people actually missed out on big announcements. They were expecting some big things coming from us. So maybe we can reconsider how we end up doing that for next year's event.
Yeah, bigger.
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 Even bigger.
We are already, the community team is already planning out stuff. We hope to have more information in the next coming months for everybody. But it's going to be massive, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, if you haven't had time, we also put a recap online. We even have like a 10-minute summary video. Like there's a lot of different ways of consuming what we talked about. Definitely love that for you to watch it. And of course, see you all next year, right? I think it was really fun to meet a lot of people in person.
Last year. The website is still beautiful, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was in Utrecht, the Netherlands. For those of you guys who have missed it, it was massive. As Paula said, there was 260 attendees there, not including the people that were behind the scenes and the speakers. So that was a huge thing. Someone asked about being nervous and if I was. But I wasn't for the most part until I got on the stage in front of the audience. Like even doing the technical dry run, it was all nice and fine. I got on stage and then I was like, oh, fuck, this is real. And managed to say fuck before Paulus got to say it. So it was really key right there for it. It was lovely though. Oh, yes. I love the little video. It's so good.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That video is live there. We all were visible. Keith, you weren't there though, but a colleague of Keith was definitely there on stage sharing the harmony, I guess. And Laura, you were amazing. Laura had a lot to tell and to share. To be fair, Laura was talking mostly, and me too, with Laura about roadmaps.
Yeah.
Trying to make a
Bridge.
line here.
No, this is
bridge here.
Yes, because this is it, like we've been working very hard on our roadmap on putting it in the open, right? We've always discussed the things that we're building, but we want to make sure that you all know that you can be involved and actually see the progress. So we've now revealed even more of the curtain, or in a way say the things that used to be hidden, what we're building on are now being built publicly. So on Discord, you can see the team chats of the people working on core and front end. You can go on GitHub, see all the research the product team is producing, the things that we're considering, the things that we are discussing, and the things that we are prioritizing of working on. So that is all now public. Frank, do you want to show the site?
Ta-da!
Enhance.
I was proud. So
let me make a banner.
yeah, I can also just share the link. It's ohf.2/roadmap. Roadmap. I'm just typing it in the chat. Here we go. It should be there for a link if you want to find it. And yeah, Laura explains it very well in the live stream. By the way, you should look at it. But you actually can see everything we're currently working on, thinking about going to work on, discussing on how we're going to do it. So everything is there in the open. And more importantly, you can also jump in that discussion, right? Like we love to see your input. Like if you have an idea that doesn't work for your home in a way, or maybe even like is not really good for your use case, then let us know. And if you're very happy, then a thumbs up would be very amazing too, right? So this way we can collaborate and actually learn about like everything on how you see things before we actually ship it, because that's our goal, right? We want to learn from everybody and the context you have from your home before we actually ship these features. So we have some things that we're considering on the left. We're shaping, which means we're working on Laura, I'm just telling it, maybe this is more your thing, but we're actually trying to shape, we're trying to get it more, how do you say that? Like more concrete? That might be
the shaping phase is where we just basically understand, okay, we have this need. Do we really want to solve it this way? We start designing, we start drafting, we start all the heavy conversations, and then that's when we pitch it. And then that's when it gets to ready or building, is when it actually development gets involved. It doesn't mean that it's like water falling that has to have like several fixed steps, but shaping is like a moment where we are still allowing ourselves to have like 80-90% of the doubts. So we are shaping like, is this even possible? is this even a good idea? Is this feasible in the energy that I want to dedicate to this? So that's what shaping means for us. It's basically where we work 90% of the time.
Yep. And once it gets to approval, we're discussing like how do we prioritize certain items on the list based on community feedback and needs and wants, for example, or product vision, right? We also have a vision where we want Home Assistant to take. And besides that, then it becomes approved. And as soon as it's approved and prioritized, we're going to soon build it. Like in this case, first device wizard and some default dashboard improve constantly thing from Laura there. And we're also like working right now actively on these items. Like we want to change port 8123. If you're now scared and want to learn more, you can go there and learn more about it, about the reasoning and the community and whatnot. So everything is there. And also we've done stuff, which we're going to talk about today, actually. So the roadmap is there. Go in there and discuss and help us.
Well, and also not everything on the roadmap, right? The things that are approved, you don't have to wait for us to build it, right? Like when it's approved, this is open source, right? Like pick it up, throw it in your favorite AI agent. Let's get started on it, right? Like generally those things have full on like plans on how they should work. And so it's easy to contribute there as well. And some of these things, you don't have to pick up a whole task. Like some of them have a lot of subtasks, right? Like the automation one had like 200 subtasks or something. It's easy to kind of take one off the list and work on it. Yeah,
so
you have 4 epics. And then many, many tasks. Look, many's still open.
Wow. Look at all that shit.
So how many viewers do we have? 700. If everybody picks up one,
Everybody.
Then we have a lot
one.
of duplicates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quick math. Just doesn't. Anyway, the roadmap is public. This is the OH app roadmap, to be clear, for the all of Open Home Foundation. This includes all the other projects like Music Assistant, ESP Home, and things we do. Their tabs are here in the top. So if you're interested in Home Assistant, you can click on that. You get a few that's filtered purely for Home Assistant. Or if Music Assistant is more your jam, pun intended, then there's a tab for that. Besides that, you don't shake your head now. Besides that, feature request, right? I see a lot of people asking and commenting already in chat. Why is this not on the roadmap or that not on the roadmap? I've already seen that also in the release comments today. The trick here is keep requesting features, right? We cannot put every feature request on a roadmap because then it becomes a feature request list, which is not what we want to build here. So please keep engaging in feature requests as well. Raise your features that you want to have. And if you see items that are not on the roadmap but are already feature requests, join in that discussion and give a thumbs up there. And like create that community signal from which we create these opportunities and the roadmap. I guess that's it. Join in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and also, I think the other thing that actually is worth mentioning is that if you see people discussing on Discord or like somebody's like, oh, when is this feature coming? Right. And you can link it to an opportunity in our roadmap, just do so that more people that we have to, I think right now we're in a phase where you have to create awareness that like we need to make sure that people think about our roadmap about like, hey, where's Home Assistant going? Like, this is not about who shouts the loudest in the comments, right? Like this is about us doing the research, prioritizing. And so, yeah.
Definitely. An awareness part is why we are discussing it here today. And we will often look at it as well. I think it's a living document. It will constantly change. We're constantly improving on this and we keep adding stuff to it because the world keeps changing. Your needs keeps changing. The IoT sphere keeps changing. So will this. All right.
We got to move on because I don't think
release. I think it's going to be very hard. I think I'm going to just remove myself from screen here. And we should maybe just dive into the release because it is massive this month. Not just in contributions, but also in features we ship.
Yes.
So we do have to catch up a little speed. Paulus is completely right there. That said, Paulus, do you want to kick it off?
Oh, yeah. Are we going to talk about cereal first?
I don't know. We can do
breakfast. It's breakfast time for me.
Yes,
I'm
right.
about that cereal,
So,
right?
We are in a phase right now of Home Assistant where we are bringing it's our goal to include all devices in your home as part of your smart home. So in the last release, we focus on infrared, right? So we made an infrared proxy, which allows us to create basically integrations that talk over infrared by sending out signals. So the first one we did was integrate LG TVs. If you have an infrared proxy, you have the Home Assistant LG integration. It can now control your TV. We see already in this release some more platforms that can become infrared proxies. So if you have a Broadlink device, it can now actually work as an infrared proxy, generic proxy for any integration in Home Assistant. If you have an SM Lite Ultima, you can also use that as an infrared proxy. And this means that we'll see more, as we get more infrared integrations added to Home Assistant, these will work with every infrared proxy out of the box, whether you made yourself your own with an ESP Home ready-made project, or you have a Broadlink, etc. Now, infrared was only step one. We actually want to add more proxies. Like we had added proxies in the past, like Bluetooth. This release, we have 2 new proxies. I'm going to talk about one first, and which is serial. Now, a serial port is more than 60-year-old technology, right? When computers were invented, that's basically what they came up with for communication between a computer and an appliance, like a printer, was all serial. And that transport of data is still very much alive. And every serial protocol built on top of it is basically their own thing, right? You cannot just say, oh, that's serial. It has a serial port, then it speaks the same protocol. In fact, there's not even a standardized serial port. If you look at your TVs, it's like an aux jack, right? Like an audio cable. If you look at, I don't know, I don't have one here, but like DB9, that's like those ports. I should have one here. Where is it? Okay, I lost it already. Anyway, oh no, here.
AV
Here we go.
receiver.
This is a DB9 port serial. There's many different ways of doing serial. Now, we added to ESP Home, and I say we, but I actually mean Keith. Keith added to ESP Home serial proxies. This allows Home Assistant to talk serial over ESP Home. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I could already do serial over the network with SER2Net and these kind of things. And that's right. However, with ESP Home, we get a bunch of added benefits about usability and making it easy to connect devices over serial over the network. Because what does ESP Home bring us? ESP Home gives us Bluetooth-based provisioning of the device to get it on your Wi-Fi, right? Just like with a VPE, you plug it in, you open Home Assistant, it's like, oh, you want to set it up? Yes, here you go. Then we have encrypted connections between ESP Home and Home Assistant. Your serial data can be pretty damn private, right? Like this can be your media that you're playing, or it can be your energy usage, right? So you want to keep this encrypted. And on top of that, ESP Home has many different ways. It can go over Wi-Fi, it can go over Ethernet, and it's been very robust and stable. So we have ESP Home serial proxies. Now, we don't have a ready-made project for it because it is so flexible. We are working on something. Yes, mice also had serial, right? Like they were everywhere. That's the way we do it. So
Yeah.
I had to laugh a little bit when I saw this because you were trying to describe the port. I have this little image still, and I saw this coming by. If you truly remember this, by the way, you remember this as well. Like the one that never like stuck, and the other one you couldn't get loose if you want to decouple it. Like this is so. Like,
Yep.
my youth.
Oh my
just
God.
said.
And then they would get bent, and then you could never thread them again.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry, I had to.
So, as part of serial proxies, we actually decided, you know what, we need to revamp all of serial, how that is consumed in Home Assistant, because the serial driver in Python land that has everybody using, Python serial, it hasn't had a release in 5 years. And it's async IO support, the way Home Assistant is built. That one was kind of patched on an extra package, also hadn't seen a release in a couple of years. So we built a new serial driver that is made for the modern age, works great in Home Assistant with the async IO, also has built-in support for all, is backwards compatible with Python serial, does all the things Python serial does, like SER2Net and all that stuff, but it also supports ESP Home serial proxies. Now, we've already updated a bunch of integrations, and already in our community, always custom components, I also see a bunch of them upgrading already. But I also added a serial new integration into Home Assistant myself because I had to like play with this myself as well, right? So let me share my screen for the brand new Denon integration. So Denon is a receiver, right? So this is, in my case, this is an AVR. So it's like an audio video receiver. You can plug a bunch of HDMI ports in, a bunch of audio, and then you can route this to speakers. And now if you add one, like, and I'm gonna show you first, like I have the 2700H. I got it on eBay. Not the lower end models don't have a serial port. The medium to higher end models do have this serial port. And they tend to go pretty cheap on eBay and Craigslist or whatever. You get your secondhand stuff because the people that like high-end receivers always like the highest standards of audio and video. So then these receivers, you know, they don't do the exact Dolby whatever, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna sell it. So yeah, you can get them relatively affordable. But here, the first thing on the serial improvement list is this. So this is the new serial picker. So it shows you serial proxies. Here I have a serial proxy with 2 ports exposed. They're strategically called left port and right port. They're both RS-232 ports, but you see also other things. So I'm on my Mac right now, so you can see I have like a Bluetooth port. I have a Bose headphones. This list though, this is dynamic. So I'm plugging in an ESP right now, and this list will update. There you go. This is an M5 stack device that I plugged in. So now, oh, you see this device appear. So if you are messing around with your plug into Home Assistant, you actually see the one that is appearing. And so they will all show up here. In fact, let me now plug in. I have an, okay, I'm hoping that, actually I didn't test this one, but I have a,
This is how it goes.
So
This
here is
nice
a,
life.
I just plugged in a Sky Connect. And as you can see, it's saying you plugged in a Sky Connect, and it's actually, because of a bug in the Mac drivers, it shows up twice. You can ignore that. I'll just do like this. It shows not recommended because it says what happens. This the Sky Connect, or the ZBT1, is actually matches USB discovery for another integration, which is the Home Assistant Sky Connect integration, right? So we're actually helping you actively finding the right USB port or the USB serial port that belongs to your device. So in my case, I know that I have my receiver here to the right of me. I have it connected to the left port. So I'm going to set it up. Now, the cool thing about serial is that it's extremely fast. So serial is just, because there's no wires, there's just like writing, boom, boom, bits. And my ESP home device is also very fast. So my receiver has 2 zones, zone 1, zone 2. You can connect. I don't have anything connected to it here. This is only for development. So now it's turned on. Now it's over here to me to the right. So I'm gonna rotate the volume button, and you can see how fast it will update. Like, this is instant. So you can even see, if, as I rotate it, even the intermediate steps are being processed. Because this is how fast it is, right? And serial is awesome for receivers, because receivers, every change you make to the receiver is instantly pushed to Home Assistant. This is all local. This is all encrypted. And yeah, it just works really well. Yeah, let me turn it off. Boom, also instant. So yeah, this is the new Denon integration. It's not, you know, it does exactly the kind of things you want from a receiver, which is volume and input mode, which is basically all you need to, like, oh, I want to switch between my TV or my speaker or my record player. And, you know, you could start saying like, oh, when my record player turns on, automatically change to the source of my record player. And when it turns off, automatically change back to the previous source. So yeah, this is serial in Home Assistant. And as we've released this now, like, you know, it was in beta, but it was already in ESP Home. I have been seeing a lot of different serial integrations floating around, because there used to be a lot of times that people would add serial parsing to ESP Home. And ESP Home, don't get me wrong, ESP Home is great, but it can also be more complicated because it's C++, right? So for people to write C++, you need to be like some badass like Keith. most people, they are like, they can stick to Python, and that's like an easier game. And so we've seen now a bunch of people already moving integrations over to being in Python. I've seen an LG TV. I've seen Samsung TV. Those are libraries, by the way. We haven't seen integrations for those yet, but they all work with Serial X and with our serial proxies. So, yeah.
To be completely transparent, by the way, the Serial X, in case you're a developer interested, we have a developer blog on it. You can migrate to it. It's linked in the release notes on our website. If you're interested, it's basically a drop-in replacement. So if you want to have a better serial experience and an async one, and a modern one, and with the capabilities that we showed here today as a potential outcome of that as well, please visit the developer blog and look at how you can migrate. It's pretty far and easy to do. Somebody raised a question here. The question mark was on the second line, so it's not showing, but also RS485, which means question mark. This is Modbus.
Yes.
So we jump into the RS232 versus 422 versus 485 minefield.
Let's not.
Yeah, it's serial, right? Like, I think that's the key thing, and we've all internally been discussing this a lot. There's been a lot of learning going on. It's serial. At the end of the day, it's bits being sent one at a time through a wire. And whether it's RS232, RS485, 422, or who knows what else. And remember, Modbus comes up a lot. Modbus is a specific implementation on top of RS485. So yes, you can do those things too. The catch is RS485 is typically half duplex. So you can transmit or receive, not both at the same time. Whereas with RS232, typically you have a transmit and a receive, like dedicated lines or wires for that. So it can be full duplex, assuming your devices support it. But yeah, and that's why we gave it a generic name like serial. We didn't call it RS232 in Home Assistant, or we didn't call it RS485. We chose serial specifically because it's more generic, and it can accommodate whatever the hardware can do. So
yeah. And so behind the scenes, we've actually, Modbus is on our radar. It's not a priority though, because Modbus itself needs a lot of love and Home Assistant to be easier. But we are making sure that you can start using Modbus with serial hopefully soon, because there's a PR for Pi Modbus to migrate from Pi Serial to Serial X. It's already been approved. We need a few minor tweaks. Look, you can already see the green check mark from Jan. So it's happening. So definitely we are. It's on our radar. If you are a person passionate about Modbus in Home Assistant, and come join our Modbus channel on the Home Assistant Discord, in the developer section, in the projects forum thread. There's one for Modbus. We're actually discussing some Modbus stuff today. Come hang out.
There was a feature request raised today as a new one. I'm not sure who raised it. I saw the title coming by, like, make Modbus a first-class citizen in Home Assistant. Yes, we pretty much like to have it the same experience as all the other things we've done recently, right? Or like MQTT has, or like we did with Bluetooth, and letting integrations build on top of an existing Modbus connection or library. That's definitely something we're looking into. So if this appeals to you and you're like, this is not wizardy, which it is for most of us, then please help us out here. That would be good. Can I show another fun thing, Paulus? Because we discussed the roadmap, right? And because all of this, somebody actually made a roadmap using AI to like represent what's going on here today. Where
somebody.
Wait till you see the smoke signal proxy. We're working on it.
I found it so good. It was generated like I should zoom out a little in order to show it for you. Like, there's so many at the end. But Paulus had a good point when we were discussing this earlier. The compatibility goal is real, right, Paulus?
Yeah, no, we want every device, whether it's like if there's one way to control a device, we want to be able to do that from Home Assistant. So yeah, we need all the way.
I cannot wait for the last one.
I was going to say, There's actually a
And then-
spoiler a little bit with the
Hmm.
last one because Frank kind of got something like wood working with Home Assistant this release.
Oh,
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't make that bridge, to be fair. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
that's for
yeah.
later. That's when we talk about our new integrations. So it's a spoiler at this point.
But anyway, yeah, we are very excited to bring more old things into Home Assistant because anytime, like, especially if you look at like solar inverters or batteries or heat pumps, these are devices that you're not going to replace because they are not smart. But oh, would it be useful for your energy management if you could like pull it all together, right? So
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
want to be a first-class energy management platform. We want to be first-class multimedia center, home theater control, right? And all of these kind of devices are being brought right now into Home Assistant.
That said, there was one thing not listed on that beautiful roadmap, by the way, which we are going to talk about anyway. I'm trying to build a bridge to you, Keith. Is that okay? All right. That's okay. Keith,
All right.
take it away because you have
Yes.
something very similar, right?
We've got more
Yeah.
proxies going on, and we're if you haven't caught on, we're all in on this proxy thing so far. So yeah, so I have this other thing that we've been working on alongside Serial, and this is my little hack together device.
This is where you ask somebody from ESP Home, right?
this is the ESP Home developer.
Let me make you. Let me put you a little bit in the center if I can. Oh, that's Paulus. That's the
Oh,
wrong one.
there we go. There we go. Okay, yes. So where's that orange wire? What is that orange wire doing there? So this is an RF proxy, which is the next thing we have to talk about.
Yes.
So we have on the ESP homepage, and I don't know, am I?
Wait, I want to quickly intercept you. RF stands for radio,
Radio
frequency,
frequency, yes.
right? So this is
Different
sub
audience,
gigahertz. We want to send radio signals. Like, Keith, can you quickly explain what use cases we're unlocking before we dive into ESP Home?
Absolutely, good point. So there are a number of different use cases for radio frequency, and you tend to see it even with more modern things. A lot of ceiling fans, for example, have RF remote controls. You see that a lot,
Definitely.
at least in the States, I assume maybe in Europe as well. And a lot of them use, this happens to be a 433 megahertz transmitter. Sometimes they use like 315 megahertz or 868, 900, something like that. So there's a lot of different sub 1 gigahertz radio frequencies that are used to send trivial, like really simple messages, just a little pulse for on or a pulse for off. Maybe if you have a fan, like high, medium, low. So they're very simple signals. They use typically what's called on-off keying. If any of you are familiar with like Morse code, where you have like dots and dashes, right? To send a signal, and either there's a beep, you hear a tone, or there's silence, right? And so that's exactly what this is doing, just at a much, much higher frequency, at a radio frequency. So that is what we have implemented, and it is honestly quite similar to what we've done with infrared in the last release, where you can send simple messages via infrared to switch on or off your television or your AV receiver, whatever else. The catch with infrared and with radio frequency is that they're generally stateless. You blast a message and you just hope it gets there. So we don't generally have a way to track state. What Paulus was showing with the serial proxy is it's stateful. You get updates from the device when you make changes. So
it rotates the knob.
Exactly.
You saw the volume change, right?
Exactly. Right. If you turn the power on and off, you see that. With like infrared and with RF radio frequency, we don't get that. We just blast a message and we assume it gets there. So the advantage to something like serial is it's stateful. You can actually track the state. But this is really nice because it's a nice way, again, to bring in you have some older devices. Again, there's, like I said, ceiling fans are real common. Other devices, I have these little string lights behind me that I had on my patio, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But yeah, this is another way to integrate those things. What we've done thus far is just, again, akin to infrared. We're sort of doing just the simplest form of modulation, which is known as on-off keying or amplitude shift keying. We're not doing anything super complex with, FSK, or there's a number of different other modulations that we may add support for later. But the approach with these things is, let's get a basic implementation working first that keeps the PRs smaller and easier to review so we can get them in more faster. And then you can always build more on top of it, right?
We always start with like shipping something small and usable, and then build up together with the community more and more in the upcoming releases, right? It gives us a way to iterate with you as well.
And it's easier to make course corrections that way, right? If something starts to go a bad direction, you haven't implemented, tens of thousands of lines of code. Maybe it's just a few hundred, and now it's easier to adjust as you go. And so that's what we've done with this. And that's the other thing. At the moment, this is just transmit support only. In a follow-up release, we'll add support for receiving. So, again, with the ceiling fan analogy, if you use your handheld remote to change the speed, when you receive that message, now you can reflect the state. So it makes it a little better integrated. But for now, we're starting with transmit only, the same thing we did with infrared. And then, we're lining up to add receive support too. So that's a work in progress as well. So
well, before you do a demo, there's some people have been asking about rolling codes. And so what we're building here is a proxy, right? So we are just building in a way that a Home Assistant integration the user can configure the RF transmitter to use, right? The device to send the signals. And then it's up to the integration to do whatever needs to be done, right? Exactly. So ESP Home is not aware of any of the protocols. It is Home Assistant integration. That means that if you update Home Assistant, you don't have to update your RF proxy. It will just work because Home Assistant has all the thinking. So for rolling codes, if Home Assistant knows the rolling code, it can generate the next one and keep track of that. It can do every fancy little bit that you would expect from RF, as long as the integration implements it. And we are really on purpose being very just pass through here, because we want to facilitate that an integration developer that wants to build something with RF or serial or infrared, they don't have to worry about the device being there configured to send the signal. They just tell Home Assistant, I want to send this signal, and everything else is taken care of.
Yes.
This makes kind of a lot of sense, right? If there's a device that has a special handling or weird codes or whatever weirdness they have, the integration can actually build and support that regardless of the
exactly. And this is kind of the boundary between the hardware and the software, because remember, they're different things. When you say rolling code, this is a software concept. This is a concept of a protocol. This is not a hardware. This is hardware. This is just a transmitter. It will transmit whatever you tell it to transmit. If I wanted to transmit a different code every time I, click the button and as a part of a rolling code, then the software does that, not this. And so, as Paulus was saying, this is really just a pass-through. Whatever you implement on the integration, within the integration in Home Assistant, then this is just going to transmit it. So, and that's the thing about it. Like Paulus was saying, is you don't need to update your ESP Home devices to add protocols. Now, as we release new versions of Home Assistant with new integrations or even external components, you can just pull those in and use them, and they should just work. So, there we go.
Do we have something to show, actually?
Should we try another live demo and see if I can?
Can only go south. Let's do it.
Great.
Oh yeah.
So can you widen your screen a little bit?
Yes.
And, do the FBI thing and enhance the image.
Enhance.
Hopefully, maybe I need to zoom in a little bit here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That might help. There we go. Okay. Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar with ESP Home, this is the ESP Home homepage. And believe it or not, we have a lot of documentation on this website. I know a lot of people never read the documentation, but it's here. The reason I have this up here is because we actually have, if you scroll down at the moment, it's kind of near the bottom of the page, we have these ready-made projects. And I like to share this because some people don't know that we have this. This is a quick and easy way to bring up an ESP Home device from if you just go to AliExpress or Amazon or wherever and you buy yourself a little ESP board like this. You can get it up and running really quickly this way. Bluetooth proxy is a real easy one to set up, and those have been around for a while. But we recently added infrared and radio frequency proxies here. And I'm going to install this M5 Stack one, despite that I do not have the official M5 Stack hardware, which is why mine looks like this. I have hooked this up so that it is exactly like the M5 Stack hardware. So I'm going to just install this, and you can see it's listed some of the serial ports. You saw this earlier when Paul was showing the serial proxy stuff. I'll pick my ESP board here, and it's going to connect, and we will install. Click install.
And so if Keith would have scrolled down a little bit, there's actually links to the components to buy.
Yes.
In this case, the RF433 only. This is the 433 megahertz antenna dedicated. That one is $4.50 and $6.50, I think, for the ESP. So for like $11, you'll be able to send out 433 megahertz. Seed sells the infrared proxy you see on the left for $10, I think. But oopsie doopsie, it got sold out after our last release of infrared. So they're working on adding more. I think it should be somewhere this month. Maybe they just added it. I'm not sure. So yeah.
They're working.
We never have that problem. We never do that to other companies. Such a shock.
Right.
While we are waiting for this to be installed, it might be a good time for a little intermezzo here. Because if you like what Keith is doing here, what we are all doing here and trying to build and ship, there's a good way to support us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Keith is working for Nabokasa. And if you get Home Assistant Cloud by Nabokasa, you actually support the foundation and all the work we do. And that's how we're able to ship Home Assistant each month to you, or ESP Home, actually, which we're now demonstrated by. This is all built and founded by the Open Home Foundation. So thank you for your support, and do that. Unless you like more of the swag that is Missy is wearing, that's also an option. Of course, we have a beautiful swag store. Can I do this? Why doesn't this work? I need to remove Keith. Oh, I'm so good at this. Let demo go south. Here we go.
No, see, here's the thing. They used to have it where you could actually just click someone else's presentation and it replaced it. They changed that a couple months ago. It's annoying.
Oh, they did? Oh.
Yeah, made it harder
I thought
for
it was
us.
me.
It's
I
not
thought
us.
It was me.
I should have
Anyhow,
let you believe that.
we have stored at openhomefoundation.org where you can where you can actually find all the sweet swag we have nowadays, which definitely supports the foundation. It's all made with organic materials and fully green and earth positive. It's really good quality, really good material.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to know, we are open about the pricing and what goes to us and what goes where as well. So every single item has a graph on how the pricing is divided.
And
Yeah,
if
and
you are in Australia or New Zealand, we actually ship there now through the North American store. So that's something for you guys that wasn't there when we originally launched the store. So yes, if you are in Australia or New Zealand now, you can get your swag from the North American store.
Right. They're asking, by the way, when is the ESP Home hoodies coming? Are they coming?
Yes, we're still working on them, actually. We're going through the design process right now and testing out the quality of the shirts themselves. We do this with everything we actually design. So whenever we put new merch up in there, we get the design sent to us. We look at it, we quality check it ourselves. We run it through washers to make sure it doesn't shrink. We work really hard to make sure the quality of these things are great. So that's where we are right now. There should be placeholders on the website though. And if you go to those placeholders, you can sign up to get notified when they are available.
All right.
Yeah, see? You see how it's all blurred out? That's because it's not ready yet. That is intentional. It's not the quality of the shirt, I promise.
Okay. Super cool. All right. For the segue, I guess that was this. Let's go back to Keith really fast here.
Woohoo!
Is it done, Keith?
It do be done. So we have got now our it's an M5 Stack device. So I will choose my Wi-Fi and put that in here.
And this is all happening from the browser, right? You don't need anything else than just having this on the browser, which is amazing.
And look at that. It's connected. So at this point, my ESP, my little device here, is connected to my Wi-Fi network. It has the ESP Home configuration on it. And we will hop into my integrations here and set it up. I have a few things that are not in my development instance. That's okay. But at the bottom here, exactly
CSI,
right.
Can you do the CSI thing again, where they enhance with the same?
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Can I make it bigger? 'Cause this list is.
Yes, thank you.
There we
There you
go. Okay, at the bottom here, this is the important one that we're interested in. This M5 stack. So it automatically detected it. I can click on this. Do you want to add? Sure, I want to add it. And yep, it's in the bedroom. So here we go. We now have a RF proxy transmitter. Now, this alone doesn't really do anything. The sweet sauce is, once again, in the integration. So let me jump over here. I'm going to add an integration. And I have behind me, probably a little tough to see, they're hanging on the shelf there, this string of lights. And they are Honeywell
Right.
branded. Yeah, Frank.
I might be able to show you like with.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not
a
what-
little bit bigger. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not sure if this works.
that works.
We can do this.
I think
Yeah,
it's
this
working.
is better,
All right.
maybe. Look at that.
Perfect.
There we go. That'll do it. Yeah. So we have added Honeywell string lights. This is just a really simple, trivial integration here. But when I select that, notice now it asks me to select an entity. And we have in here my RF proxy transmitter. So now I can configure this integration to use this transmitter. And we'll put it in the bedroom again. And now I have an RF proxy transmitter that controls these lights behind me. So for now, we just have on and off. They can do colors and a couple other things. But for demonstration purposes, kind of proof of concept, first thing we're shipping, again, we keep it small and we build on things later on. But that is now being controlled by this thing, which is
the orange wire.
the orange wire, really, yeah. So this is the remote, and you can see with the remote, I can.
You're not
there it
secretly
goes.
pushing the remote, right? When you
Yeah, I'm not
you
secret.
know,
It's
so-
not secretly pushing the remote.
Baking.
But in any event, so that's how the RF proxies work. And if we jump back and look at the RF proxy, we get the last time it transmitted. So as I transmit things, this timestamp will update. And later on, receive support will come as well. So we could potentially receive the signal from this remote and update the state that way. So that'll be in a next release or two.
Yeah. So Keith, a couple of questions.
Yeah.
What frequencies are supported?
We can theoretically support any frequency. Right now, we've kept it simple. This is, this happens to be 433 megahertz. The way we're using frequencies as it relates to the ESP Home configuration is it's essentially just metadata that's passed to Home Assistant. So Home Assistant can match an integration with a particular transmitter frequency you have. This piece of hardware, for example, will only transmit 433 megahertz. So it wouldn't make sense to wire an integration that expects 900 megahertz into it, right? And so Home Assistant will filter that and only present transmitters, receivers that match the frequency that the ESP Home device is configured with. But we have it built so that it can support a range of frequencies. We've talked a little bit about modulation. That'll come a little bit later. So if you've got more complex devices using different modulation techniques, we can accommodate that too. But yeah.
Yeah. And so next is, right now we support 443 megahertz. Next release, I think we were planning on adding the support for the CC1101 module in ESP
Right.
Home, right?
Yep.
Which is a,
Everybody knows what you're talking about now.
yeah, so this is,
Everyone just
Yeah.
went,
no, so this will allow, this is a module that allows you to do any frequency under any sub gigahertz. So anything under a gigahertz, 900 megahertz, whatever. This allows you to do some illegal shit. So make sure you only send the frequencies that are allowed by your jurisdiction, right? They will find you.
I was going to say, don't let the lawyers hear this.
right.
But this
Yeah.
is always the thing with these components, right? Like Home Assistant, if an integrate, you have to set up an integration. So the integrations, they work for you locally. Those are the ones that you should use. But yeah, I think we're going to add that support to ESP Home. We might work on a guide to help you build your own. Like there's development boards of the CC1101 on Amazon, for example, that are just like dev boards you can connect to an ESP. So we should be able to get that going as well.
I
Yeah.
got some more questions in the chat though that might be worth highlighting here. Is can this work all with the existing RF integrations like Broadlink?
Yes. In fact, that is the only way right now because we don't have a ready-made. Well, we have the ready-made project. I guess that's for 433 megahertz. If you use an RF Broadlink RM4 Pro, of course, that one, that is the one that has RF support as well. So that one also supports 443 megahertz. And that actually is being used. That one was used to develop the second RF integration in this release, which is the Novi hoods. So this is a kitchen hood above your stove to get the fumes away. Apparently it's in the ceiling, so you cannot just touch the button like you would normally do, I guess.
I couldn't reach it. It was so
Yeah,
annoying.
and so you need a remote, or like if the remote is broken, you need Home Assistant with an RF proxy. So yeah.
Little segue. This is not into like the swag again, but a little segue here about Broadlink is that last release we introduced infrared, right? IR proxies. This support for IR for Broadlink has also been added. So if you have this Broadlink device, you can actually use it for IR as well in Home Assistant, which is absolutely
That's pretty nice.
nice. Right, and we had another one here, which is, can the integration learn from a remote?
So today, no, because we don't do RF receiving, we don't do infrared receiving. We are playing, like we have an architecture proposal for infrared receiving, so that is something that is closer to coming than RF. RF, we are also interested into it, but it still needs some more work on a lot of different ways, on like ESP Home as well. So technically, in the future, it's something we would like to add. It is a lot more complicated, though, right? Like, I mean, I have a flipper at home. Infrared receiving is easy. You just like listen, boom. For RF receiving, which frequency are you listening? Which modulation? It gets a bit more complicated, but it will be possible maybe. And if we do it, it will be nice because I hope we can get to a way where people can, I don't know, they record the codes, give it to a developer, you get an integration. And so we can extend what we all support.
The IR receiving part, just not to be the biggest spoiler in the world, but it's currently scheduled for next release, so you don't have to wait for long on that one anymore.
I mean, I'm actually, the receiving one is very nice because the integrations can actually start updating the state in Home Assistant, right? So you use your air conditioner remote outside of Home Assistant still represent that you turn the temperature down or up.
There was another one which is maybe a little bit of topic, Paulus, but it was spotted, so maybe you should just like, I'm interested too. What's that massive ESP thing behind you, man?
I actually noticed that too. I was going to ask about it. Yeah.
So, actually, it's an NRF.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind.
But yeah, she sent it to me once. I always like, just, you know, it looks so nice.
Looks cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything more on the RF side? Because we're going well over time if we continue in this pace.
No, but even if we had, we should go. We
should probably go. Keith, thank you so much for the live demo. I'm happy it succeeded. So feel free to stick
Someone
around.
in the comments. Someone in the comments did call out about a USB-powered all-in-one hardware hub, something with IR and RF that Nabu-Casa may or may not be working on.
Will it have PoE though?
Yeah, no, we shared that actually on the State of the Open Home, right? We are working on Project Blast, so we are working on something with IR and RF, but no promises, nowhere, nothing. Just, you know, enjoy all the other options of doing IR and RF today. Let's build a lot of cool integrations, and then eventually, when we figure it all out, we have something to share.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, next subject, trying to build a bridge. I'm not sure how to build a bridge. We don't have to build a bridge. Hi, Laura. How you doing?
Hi, Frank.
I try to make a bridge always, but this time I
here you are.
Very hard. But we brought you in here for a totally different subject here, which is, are you okay, Missy? Which is dashboard, right? Shall we
Yeah.
dive in? Because we have a
Okay.
lot to tell about dashboards.
Yes.
Should we kick off with do you want to tell something? Do you want to show and
Yeah,
tell?
I want to show and tell, actually. I think there's like a lot of little things that have been contributed to this release, and I'm super happy. I have like a big shout out to everyone that contributed, discussed, open PRs, participated in GitHub. We're getting a lot of movement, and I'm incredibly happy. And I think this release is like living proof of this. So if you actually share my screen, I can actually demo a couple of things. So the first thing that I wanted to share is we are aware that this is a long list now, right? So we are going to try. Well, first of all, sorry, we have a new one here. So now we have this amazing maintenance dashboard that it seems like something we should have had like a long time ago, right? But it's basically it's like a list of your. It grabs all your battery entities and it classifies them by area and it shows them with the level of the score that it had. And actually, if you go to the summary, you can see if one has like low battery and which ones are unavailable, which is super useful. So a big shout out to Brooke who did this.
Community contributed.
It's a community contributed 100%, and I'm super happy to have it here. But it's not the last of it. We also have been talking about, okay, what things go here, what don't go here, how do we choose, how do we actually let you choose? So after a lot of discussions on this, we have now this customization panel. So now you not only can handle your favorites like you before could, you can also, of course, now hide if you don't want the suggested entities to show up for you, which I know for some of you, it was something that didn't work. So now it's here. But now the big one is now you can actually show and hide your summary. So for example, if for you having security on one click on overview, it's a problem because the way that you handle overview, it's public in your house, it's in the living room, and you don't want people to just tap and see your alarm, you can just hide it, right? If I never take any mind of my media players, I can hide it. But it's not only that, it's the fact that now we can actually be a bit more brave in adding new things here because we can just show them hidden and you can choose if you show them or hide them, which is really cool, right? So if I just do this, ta-da, it shows and hides. Now, we have a new thing that I really love, which is this little thing that we are calling a shortcut. What is a shortcut? A shortcut is absolutely everything. Like, I don't know, for example, developer tools, for example. But it can be whatever you want it to be. It could be dashboard, it could be a view, it could be any route that you want in Home Assistant. And you can then customize it, and then you can change the color so it actually makes sense for you. So for me, it's deep
Does this
purple.
include apps like navigating to VS Code, for example, or like the ESP Home Builder dashboard?
I think so.
Yes, it does. It is. Are you on Home Assistant OS?
No, I think I'm in Docker.
Yes, exactly.
okay,
So you
that
don't have
doesn't work.
apps. That's
Yeah.
why it's not
Yeah.
showing. But yes,
Sorry.
we also in that list we show the apps, and actually secretly don't tell anyone. You can paste any URL in that
Ooh.
text field. You can paste
If
any
that was
like
a secret,
you can paste a relative app. So if there's a favorite, like if you want to have a quick look for the traces of a specific automation, just copy paste that path, like a relative path into it, and it will just work as well.
And to be honest, when we designed this, we thought, hey, make summaries, then we have the shortcuts independently. But then we have another contribution, which is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, PCAN08, which he thought, what about rearranging it? And he actually contributed with rearranging. So now we can actually decide that developer tools, in this case, goes at the top of my list, which of course is the top, not the top, because these are things that are supposed to disappear. I should be taking care of my repairs and my updates, but it's on top of the fixed list of things that it's always here, right? And with that, I have complete control on what's happening on my sidebar, which is super important to make sure that you have some control on what's happening on overview. So I'm really happy about that. So more things on these. We are talking
Security,
about,
right?
sorry.
Security?
Yes, security.
Oh yeah, we hit the security.
Yes. Give me 1 second because I'm making sure I'm not leaking the whole security of my house before showing this. Okay, cool.
We can
So
do it.
now we have an activity log here, which is again something that it's super small, but it's super important to have, and it's a small step into making these default dashboards
And
more
this
and more
one, yeah.
useful.
And this one is automatically only shows the items that are shown on this
Yeah.
dashboard plus the people in your house, right? So every
Yes.
person entity is also shown in there.
Yeah, I actually had to scroll because I was leaking the names and surnames of everyone that was living in my house, but it does show. So, good. More
By the way,
things.
there's one tiny detail that related to the apps, and I'm going to quickly show my screen just to
Yes, of course.
just take it over for a second, just because
Go for it.
wait.
I mean,
Oh, sorry.
we go.
Yes. Okay. If you're here, Music Assistant and ESP Home, if you can click apps, you can see your apps.
Oh, yes.
For a long time, Music Assistant and ESP Home didn't have their own logo. We had like a substitute logo because their logos were not part of the MDI icon set. I've added ESP Home and Music Assistant logos to Home Assistant's front end,
Nice.
and the add-ons are now using that. So I just merged ESP Home, so the next release will have it. Music Assistant, this is the Nightly's, already have it merged. I will need to merge the stable as well, so the next release will also have it. So when you add these apps to your dashboard, they will have the right logo, which of course is super important. So
Yay.
that was my quick intermezzo.
No,
Back.
it's perfect and super important for consistency in general. Because again, I think linking the apps in the sidebar will also be a very typical use case.
I mean, for me, Music Assistant is like, I need to go there. I'm like playing music.
Yes.
This is it needs to be there.
Yeah, and honestly, like the sidebar is so crowded, sometimes it's super easy to just have it in summaries and be able to access it. Good. So now, I told you about this idea of the shortcuts that are added to the summaries, but you know that this is actually a new card? So if I actually go here and just look for shortcuts, I can then add whatever that I want. It's something that navigates to, I don't know, my energy, for example. And I can, energy, it's okay, I already have energy, but imagine I just want to have a quick button to show energy, right? So I can just put it here with the color that I want, exactly the way that it was, with the preset icon, but then I can, of course, add any icon that I want. And then, of course, this is exactly like any custom card. So I can just edit it as any custom card and it works.
Yeah. And it's not only the navigation action, you can actually pick any of the actions that we support, right? So opening a URL, performing an action. So basically, these can be front-end only scripts. If you ever felt like, oh, I just want to call this one action and now I have to make a script and edit here. No, for if it's just one use case, you can just say turn on the lights or whatever you want to do and, boom, do it right in here.
Exactly. And this is super important, super interesting when you're talking about specific actions that you just want to trigger quickly. This was possible before, but you required a lot of turnarounds. And this time it's very easy, 5 clicks and you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Also in the territory of cards, we now have in the tile cards.
Hold on.
Sorry.
There's one feature here to this card that is actually missed by a lot of people, which I think is golden. No, it's not. Maybe not golden. Maybe that's like exaggerating a little bit too much. But hey, this thing is actually not just a card. It's also available as a badge.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
As in that one, you can actually add to your section header. So if you would close this card up, by the way, and you added a section, no, that would work too.
Yeah.
Here we go. You can actually make a shortcut batch, which is a nice little hidden feature that is not necessarily shown. But look at that. I like that a lot. It's just a different variant of the same thing. Could be useful.
I really love how we're bringing all these little features that were possible, but you have to like take a lot of hidden paths, and now they're just like 5 clicks away. So everyone can just have like a quick batch linking everywhere without just having to think it too much. It's super cool.
There's a question here, by the way, from Harry. Harry is saying, like, how is this different from that? And Harry, you're totally right. It's the same thing. The thing that's different though is that if you wanted to do that, then you had to build like a button with an entity on it, and then you override it and hide it again, and then put the action behind it. So if like right now we created something, you add this thing and you assign the action, you're done, which is different, right? You don't have the entity fuss and devices fuss around it. It's way more straight to the point.
Exactly. Instead of just pretending that you're going to use something for an entity and then removing the entity artificially, you just create something that doesn't need an entity from the start, which is how this should be. So it's less error prone and more approachable and friendly to just create it.
Yep. Awesome. Sorry.
So, no, perfect. Of course. More things on cars, just a small thing, but I think it's highly requested and it's really cool. So now if we actually select a media player, I think I need to go to, I don't know if it's going to work because most of my players are unavailable. Sorry. Had one. Yes, sorry. This one. So now I not only have like the playback controls, of course, and I have the volume buttons, but I also have the player source. So now I could actually have the player source here. And this is my favorite. If you edit the playback buttons, now you can actually have next track, play, pause, stop, and rearrange them.
That's so cool.
So this is something that all the times that I've been testing this with users, this was heavily missed. Everyone was trying to manufacture this from the tile card editor, and it's great to finally have this. It's going to be immensely useful.
Yeah.
Cool. One more thing that's really cool. It's about when we are talking about custom dashboards. So up until now, when you had to add a custom dashboard from someone, of course, you have to do it through hacks. But then if you wanted to implement a custom dashboard, you needed to go to good Lovelace dashboard, add some script, and it was like incredibly complex. So we implemented a way that if you're a developer and you want your custom dashboard to show up in just the selector, it's in the documentation, exactly what you need to do. But now it's possible. So for example, in this case, I added through hacks a dashboard that it was coincidentally it's called maintenance, but it's not the same maintenance dashboard.
I have a different dashboard if you want to make it less confusing.
Yes, because I also have like yes, please show it, because I have maintenance and it could be a bit muddy with the terminology.
Okay, so first of all, if you are a custom strategy developer, like we have had support for dashboard strategies, I think that was arrived in 2021. It has never gotten a lot of steam, partially because of us. And the reason was not because it wasn't documented, but it was discoverability was low. So that's the main thing we've tried to solve now. So if you find a new dashboard strategy on Hacks, hopefully they've implemented now this feature that they can register. And what it means is that for cards, we show you already in the add card picker, you can see custom cards. Now in the add dashboard, you can see your custom dashboards. And not only can you see a custom dashboard, this is the mushroom strategy. This is not a feature they support yet. I opened the pull request. I hope they merge it. When you click on it, now dashboards can actually offer suggestions for this page. That's not something I haven't added here. I was just focusing on registering. So, okay, my mushroom. Now I open mushroom. Boom. My strategy is here, right? So you don't need, previously you had to make an empty dashboard, edit the YAML, delete everything, paste in some things to activate the strategy. Not anymore. Right now, this is just possible.
It's good to know that a strategy is basically like an automation blueprint, right? A custom card developer or a UI developer could build a ready-made dashboard like the ones we ship built in, but something specific to a certain purpose, and share that on Hacks or anywhere else on the internet that you can install and use that are automatically created dashboards. So it could be that you're maybe into, I don't know, aquariums a lot, right? And there's some kind of aquarium dashboard share that you can just install, and you will assign the entities. You have this beautiful aquarium dashboard, or a 3D printer dashboard, or maybe you're more into trains and it shows the train tracks, or Formula One with a circuit and driving cars over it, or something else. But the thing here is that we're trying to unlock is the fact that they're visible and shown. And we would love to call out to all the developers, if you're watching, go into the Dev Docs and try this out, because like dashboards are now really much of like grown-up thing, and having strategies for them would like allow to share with a lot of people. But above all, it allows for experimentation, right? There's a lot of information we can learn from this, and maybe something can be built in at some point as well.
Yeah.
So please, if you're a developer watching and you think of something cool, share it. If you've built an amazing dashboard, make a strategy out of it.
And so Petra's asking if there's developer documentation. Yes, it's added to the developer documentation. And there's also a blog if you go to developer.home assistant. I tried to post it for my personal account. I guess I got flagged for spam, but yeah, there it is.
It's also linked in the release notes. At the bottom, every release, we put all the developer blogs in the end. So if you're a developer, you can find everything that happened this month. Yes, there as well. Sorry, I meant to remove it.
Oh. I want to show this question from Jonas. Jonas, yes, sorry. Custom dashboards are JavaScript. They have full access to the WebSocket API, full authenticated. So if you think about, for example, the energy dashboard, I think is a great way. The energy dashboard, you configure what your grid import is, your grid export, your solar, your batteries, and then this strategy, this piece of JavaScript, looks at your devices, looks at your areas, the statistics, generates a whole configuration, which is then shown dynamically on the fly. And you can do a lot of cool stuff, right? So you can even, just like the energy dashboard or like even the homepage, you can show your own editor, right? So you have your own editor where you show your own fields that then you generate a dashboard on, and you can do whatever you want, really. So this is really if you want to include 10 custom cards in your dashboard strategy, like for example, this mushroom strategy, right, was only showing mushroom cards. It's possible. It's whatever you want to do. Our dashboard engine will just render it for you and then for your user, of course, of the dashboard strategy.
Dashboard strategies. Wow. I never imagined talking about them in the live stream that way, by the way. Yeah. Super cool. Did we cover everything for dashboards at this point? I think we did, right?
I think we did, yeah.
Wasn't there for covers another feature?
We have some little UI changes, but we can come to that later, I guess, which is a little bit decoupled from the dashboards in general, to be fair. So maybe we can switch up things a little. Yeah, because we have a lot more to talk about. And one of the bigger topics I would like to take on, if you're okay with that, is the purpose-specific triggers and conditions. I'm slowly getting to a point where I can just say that term like full out without stuttering. It's amazing. Purpose-specific triggers and conditions are, in case you've missed it, or maybe watching for the first time, is that we're working on a new way to automate in your home. So previously, if you wanted to automate, if a motion was detected, then you had to like make a trigger where you figured out your motion entity and then stayed on for certain times and whatnot. And we thought that was way too difficult, but because you have to understand our state machine and entity. So we've been working on something that is very much more fitting our mental model, going in a way like, hey, if motion is detected in the living room area, whatever motion sensor there is, turn on the lights in the living room, whatever lights there are there, regardless if you add more of them or remove them or have multiple motion sensors, it all doesn't matter, it will just work. So the mental model of automations are changing. So this is the quick TLDR of what this new feature is. Let's dive in a little on what we have to ship this month around that. Let me try to share my screen. That might be a good idea, actually. Hold on. Where's my screen? Did I unshare? Oh, I killed my screen. Hold on.
Great job.
Preparation for the win, huh? Here we go. Let me enhance this a little. Welcome to my dashboard. Let me go dive straight into automations here. So settings, automations. Look at how many automations I already have in my new home. Basically nothing.
Nice.
But at least there are devices in there now, so that's good.
It's going
Alright.
well.
Yay.
Yeah.
You're going
yeah.
slow.
I'm going very slow. It's going very well, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Still have matter issues, but that's a topic for another day. All right. When I add this trigger, you will notice, let me, by the way, go back a little bit, because everything we're going to talk about is actually a Labs feature. It's in Home Assistant Labs. So everything I'm going to show, if you want to try it out, and I will desperately ask you to try it out, you need to go into Settings, go into System here. System. And then go into Labs. This is Home Assistant Labs. You'll find features that are currently in preview. This is a preview feature. And you click an Enable button here. It's safe to do. It will ask you for a backup, and then you can play around with it. If you dislike it, you disable it again. And if everything goes south, which it shouldn't, by the way, then you always have a backup to rely on. Anyhow, going back to automations real quick. Create an automation, empty one. If you have it enabled, you will notice something different. Instead of having a list of like button and light, you will have by target, which is something different. And right now we can do something like, I don't know, the outside area in my case. You will see a whole bunch of new triggers and conditions here that are there. So let's say that motion is detected or cleared. What shall I do? I will clear it. Let's turn off the light after motion has been detected. Cleared. Then all of a sudden I have this here. It shows that it's 4 entities that's been targeted because I select an area. So all of these binary sensors are doing their due diligence here. And now we have some beautiful new things here. So you can decide on when to trigger because we're dealing with multiple entities. This feature has always been here, by the way, in this testing phase with this preview feature, but it has been renamed and added clarity in this release. So it's clear what it happens when each of them triggers, or when the first one triggers that goes on, or when all of them are triggered. So it's now very clear on what the behavior is. You can adjust the behavior of what's happening in case you have multiple motion sensors in this case. And what's really new in this release, and what's the most exciting part, is that we have for at least, and most people probably know this as for. So this means I can now say if there's no motion for 15 minutes outside, right? Then I could do outside, turn off light. There we go. I created an automation that when motion is cleared for 15 minutes outside, the lights would turn off outside. How easy is that?
Hey, Frank, do you have AI task set up?
Nope, I don't. Sorry.
I was going to be like, I want to see the suggestion action to see if the AI will get it.
Nope. Sorry, I don't have that available here. I have seen some comments though, people asking like, what's the difference between for at least and the old for we had? Like the old, the trigger still exists, right? I'm talking about old. It will remain to exist. It's still here. It's the state trigger, right? If you had a state trigger like before, like motion, and it's detected from detected to clear, right? You already can see the more difficult case here. This is the old way of doing it, right? This is exactly the same. The difference is that this can handle multiple entities at the same time. You can adjust the behavior for it, define how long it waits. But above all of this, like it's based on an area, right? If I add more motion sensors outside, they will be picked up automatically. And if I don't know what's the other use case. If I add more, then it's just picked up. I think that's it, right?
I mean, that's the nice thing, right? You declaratively say this area is what I care about, and how you configure your house, it's automatically picked up. Way more easier to understand, also as a user, right? Because you're not thinking about motion sensor in outside areas. You're no, I'm thinking about outside.
Yes, exactly. And even more beautiful is, and most people don't realize this, all these new trigger and conditions, the new ones that we introduce, all take care of like unknown and unavailable and things like that as well. Like you don't have to care about that. It really is just like configuring like this, which I absolutely enjoy. This same thing has been also added to conditions. So if the condition would be, I don't know, light is on, I could say if it's on for at least 15 minutes, I could add a condition like that as well. So it's pretty cool. And here's the same thing for condition also has a behavior handling for specifically if you have multiple entities that are targeted, because I hit outside in this case. All right, besides that, we have a whole bunch of new triggers and conditions this release. We have things to do with, let me go by type because I can clearly show them off a little. But we have update, so you can now trigger if there's an update becoming available. Really cool if you want to have a notification that new Home Assistant release is out. So we have a little trigger for that. This one is actually pretty hard to do in the old releases because you had to use events, but we now have really nice triggers. If you use a timer helper, you can actually trigger when it pauses or when it's restarted or canceled or finished. Really easy to use now. Previously, this would have been a little bit harder because you had to use like internal events and such. That's now there. I really like that one. We have tons of them for media players. That's for you, Paulus, for Denon, yes. I guess. Look at that. Whole bunch of them for media players. And all of these are also in the conditions, by the way, not just in triggers. So that's cool. And remotes got in here. Oh, and finally, we have a new way here, which is not showing up on my end, probably because I don't have it. It's doorbell. Yeah, I don't have it. So we also, if you have doorbells that actually send the right signal, meaning ring, I believe they send ring, and then we show it as doorbell ring. Anyhow, if you have a doorbell, then you can automate that with that pretty easily as well. So new triggers and conditions. This is, if you haven't played with all of this in this Labs feature yet, I would definitely recommend to do so. There's so much new stuff in here. We have hundreds of triggers, hundreds of conditions. They're absolutely fabulous. We're pretty much close to where we want it to be soonish. So we expect 1-2 releases or something before we expect it to go out of Labs and become generally available. We're pretty much in a good state now. So love to hear your feedback while we can still change around. Did we lose Laura there? Oh, no, she's back. All right.
Yeah, I'm super excited about these. Just being able to, it will be easier for people to reason and think about the automations they want to make. Like the old ones are not going to go away. We're not going to break them. We will just make sure that they will be a little bit harder to find and that people are being steered to the new ones, which are more user-friendly.
It's so good. I cannot. What's the best way to provide feedback? Somebody's asking, by the way. I think that's a good question. If you go into the Labs again, and I can actually show that, let me get rid of this one. You go back into the Labs. So you go to System and then Labs. On every single feature that's here, you can find a way to report issues or provide feedback on how you feel about it. So if you have something to say about like the purpose-specific triggers and conditions, then go here and click that.
I know, and I'm not sure. Do these go to Discord or Google?
Depends a little bit more. I'm not sure. It depends on this one. This one goes to a Google form at this point still.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, there's on Discord, there's a lot of chatter about automations happening. So
Discord is always a place to hang out.
Yeah.
100%. For next release, we're actually focusing on documentation, in case people were wondering. So stuff like that is already happening today a little bit, but we are going to deliver a whole large suite of documentation, on which we will probably talk a little bit more later this stream, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, because it's a spoiler at this point, right? For the documentation, I think we'll talk a lot more about that next release.
Yeah, and a little bit this release as well in a bit, hopefully. See how far we can get today.
Wait, should we jump into the documentation, Frank?
I can, but before we do, I think we have a few things that actually we also want to highlight as a little intermezzo, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
because we have actually 2 new partners joined this month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
right?
only that, I think we've added 100 new devices to our Works with Home Assistant program, right? I think we're up to
Oh.
300 Works with Home Assistant devices now.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yep. That's thanks to the next one, not Ubisys. Ubisys didn't get us across that milestone, but
No, okay.
the other one that joined
But
did.
yeah, this one is also nice, right? These are Zigbee devices, thermostat valves, modules. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, that's it. Control unit, heat regulator, and 3 actuators. Super cool. Nice to see them joining the Works with Home Assistant program. We have another one, which is not very similar, but I like this one because the next one is a little bit of a difference. It's Bega. Do I say that right? It's Bega.
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 Sorry if I butchered it. It's just all right. Anyhow, they now also works with, and what I like about them, it's more of they make light fixtures, like more high end level things, where you can like get all spare parts decently, and they're more into a different type of audience. But it's nice to see such a class of product landing in a Works with Home Assistant program as well. That there's a choice for like very good quality and decent outside lighting. So that's really cool. It's Zigbee based as well. They have a whole catalog of things. It looks beautiful, by the way. They have some beautiful, just saying. Oh, beyond beautiful design. There we go. Zigbee lights. And there's a whole list here as well with different variants as well in there. Like there are hundreds of lights there. So 2 new joiners this month. Happy to see that happening.
Yeah, this is showing our Works with Home Assistant program. For the people that are not familiar, we are having a program where we look not just at the device, like we don't just like rubber stamp every device. We only allow devices that work locally. We prefer Zigbee, Z-Wave, or Matter, of course, but any device that can work locally can join the program. But we also make sure that we have good contact with the manufacturer, that we can escalate, for example, if there's a bug in their firmware and we find it, our users community finds it in issues, we can report it. Our engineering team talks to their engineering team. When they release an update, we get the firmware updates. We can help you update these devices through our Zigbee update service, or Z-Wave update service. And so make sure that you get these bug fixes. Make sure that basically the idea that we have with the Works with Home Assistant program is that if you put a Works with Home Assistant device in your house, it is going to work for the next 10 years. Right? Like, doesn't matter if the manufacturer goes out of business, you will still be able to use this device because it works fully local. So that's why our program grows a little slower than other programs, because we have a lot more requirements, although the requirements tend to be for the first device, because then after that we know we have contact with the manufacturer and we have those relationships established. But yeah, it grows a little slower, but it's growing faster nowadays. Like, I think Miranda really hit their stride. We will have a second partnership manager joining the Open Home Foundation soon, so I expect this to grow even faster as well.
Awesome. Yeah, besides that, Missy, should we dive into community a little bit, or do you want to save that
I think
for
we
later?
should, because this is actually an important one for Paulus, because he's going to be at both of these events that I'm going to talk about.
Sure.
If you got the Luma page pulled up, thank you. Yeah, that one. That's lovely. Thank you. We have actually a ton of meetups scheduled throughout July right now, from what I have seen. Most of them are community meetups, which is lovely. Galway just added theirs on here last week. They are in Ireland, which is lovely. Stockholm's been there for a little bit, so if you're in Sweden, close to Stockholm, get set up. But one of the cool ones is that, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to, just before we go into specific ones, if you want to organize a meetup, right? Do it. We will support you and we will help promote you. So we love to help organize the community. I think we send shirts and stickers for your meetup. So if you want a free shirt and Home Assistant stickers, go organize a meetup. right?
Yeah, and talk with me about it specifically. Right now, what we do is we do reimbursements for it, but we are working with our e-commerce manager, Anton, to have a kind of meetup kit available for hosts of the community. So you can go ahead and get that directly from the store without having to go through us for other things, but we can get you set up 100%. Stickers, anything else you actually need, we're happy to help with. We even help with some venue fees. So if your venue costs are a little high, we work with reimbursing you on that as well. So no, we work really hard to make sure you guys are supported when you want to meet up and talk to each other and make it as least stressful as you can possibly make it for everybody. So yeah, no, and that's what we're doing with Galway. We're gonna try to help them out with the food for what they're doing because the venue they're getting is free. Stockholm has been there's been a couple other Stockholm ones, but this is the first one they're actually doing, and I hope they reach out if one of them's watching right now so I can help them out if they need it. That May 27th one there, that's the one that Nabu Casa is actually hosting. So it's not a foundation hosted one, but because Paulus is the CEO of Nabu Casa still, he and the Nabu Casa team, including Keith, I believe, will actually be there in Rome on May 27th. So you guys can hang out with the people who make our hardware. And the cloud
if you want to
services.
talk about proxies,
so it's really cool.
Yeah, if you want to talk about proxies, hubs, or pizza, because we're in Italy, definitely stop by.
Yeah, the state of different protocols, how
Yeah.
RS-232 works compared
Oh,
to
yeah.
485 and stuff. Like Keith can tell you all about it. Just
Yes. All in person. The next one is like 2 days later for Paulus, I think, as well. He's gonna be
One day later.
One day, it's the next day. He's going to be in Oslo, Norway. For
Well, it's like I live in the States, so I'm in Europe, and then like I have an event in Oslo the weekend after our company, Nabu Casa company all hands meetup in Rome. And I was like, well, I'm in Oslo anyway, so let's do a meetup, right? Like I'll join. So
yeah. We actually, during setting this up, found a Norwegian Facebook group that I ended up joining and it advertised it there. I'm really excited to find that little group. I love finding the regional groups so that we can actually talk more about you guys when we do these meetups. There's one in France. I'm going to butcher that city name, so I'm not even going to say it. Because I love the French city names. It's awful for native English speakers. That's at the end of May. And then we have going through June, Hassel again. That one's a consistent one. As you can see, that's number 6. Cologne. This is actually being hosted by someone, not the normal one. Andre is normally the one who hosts this one. We have a new guy, one of
Ollie.
our devs, Ollie. Yes, he's the one who's actually hosting this one. And then the next one we actually see there is the one in July. And I think that's the last one leading up to everything. Now, before comments come in, because it happens when I normally, Newcastle. Nice. Kiev. I just added that one on yesterday, actually. So that I forgot about that one. So yeah, if you're in Ukraine, Kiev, go actually hang out with that. It was a really popular meetup last year during Community Day. And to kind of segue into that one, Community Day, we're working on planning it right now. We will have a save the date announcement for everybody in August, which will give you guys plenty of time, I promise, to actually prepare for everything. So stay tuned. In August, I should have more information for everybody.
awesome. Thank you so much for that update. The community meetups are, by the way, great. If you have never attended one, I can definitely recommend it. I'm addicted to them, to be fair. I will probably visit the Cologne one and maybe Hasselt. There's one in Groningen soon as well, which is a smaller one, which that's so cool. There's so many of them happening everywhere.
Yeah. And they keep getting more and more added on. People are starting to get more consistent about adding it. So, and if you want to host, like we said, set something up, contact me, and I will make sure you can actually get fully set up. My email address is really, really easy. It's missy@openhomefoundation.org. You can find me that way. You can find me on Discord. You can tag me on our forums, wherever you guys are.
I forgot. Which was the email address again?
Missy at openhomefoundation.org.
All right. Picking
Thank
up
you.
steam a little, we have something else, and Paul has already touched, like, should we show it? Yes, I think we should. I want to talk a little bit about documentation, because one of the comments that we heard throughout the years is our documentation isn't always the top-notch thing. We do think, and we do understand why sometimes that is. But we have this year as our main goal, making Home Assistant more approachable for everyone, which is one of the goals that we are pursuing. And that includes documentation, right? Like, making anything understandable, approachable, documentation is important. And we are investing in that a lot, which means we have now a documentation team. Actually, we hired and onboarded a few new technical writers as well. And we're actively working on making things better. And I want to show a little thing that bleeds into, or where this is going to be visible and where this is heading. At the same time, this also bleeds into Home Assistant itself, which I will show you in a bit. Let me share my screen real quick, because we are short on time, so I'm going to make this quick. But we have built out a whole new templating documentation. Now, I do realize templating might not be the most approachable thing of Home Assistant, to be fair. It's almost like a light programming language in a way. But if you want to learn it, then you actually have a place to go. You don't need to learn to use Home Assistant anymore nowadays, right? Templating is not something you would need for most cases, actually. But if you want to do something very particular, like notifications with dynamic text in it based on, I don't know, the temperature outside, then all of a sudden templates become helpful. And in order to learn from it, we now have actually a whole page that tells you about what templating is. There's a quick example in here. We have a whole learning guide that teaches you step by step what templates are, where you can use them, how the syntax works, and it goes with you step by step. You can really learn it. So if we go into the introduction, it will slowly give you that example of an outside temperature, right? You can send a message, which is warm outside, but you could also do this in a template, which means it will set the temperature from that temperature entity here, and later that day, it could be different. That's what templates basically do in a nutshell. And we take you all the way down to the very more complex things like debugging them and errors you can run into. A few tutorials that actually can help you doing something useful. Once you went through this whole learning process, you can actually do something useful with them, like low battery alerts. Besides the maintenance dashboard, you might want to get alert for those. Average temperature calculations, things like that. Yeah, there's also some topics in here that people struggle with, even if you're a long-time user of templates. Like dates is like very notorious. Like working with dates and localization in programming is generally really hard. So we have a dedicated page on this, on how this works and what you can do with them and how you handle dates actually. So there's a lot of like learning documentation out, which is new, which I think is really cool. But what is really cool is that this is the good page to show this example that I'm trying to make. I don't think so. Let me pick up something else. Well, I can pick this one up. Every single example here is now syntax highlighting, so I can actually hover over functions and it will tell me what it does. And this works throughout the whole documentation. And if I want to learn more about how this relative time function works, I can actually click on it to go to a dedicated page for each and every template function that's there that tells you how it's used, how it actually works, what parameters there are, and a bunch of examples that are there, caveats like good to know and how things work. So this is something that we're really been working and investing in. Last but not least, some people asked, where do I find all the functions? Well, we have this overview page, which you can find everywhere. It's the old template functions page. This is a huge index which lists every single template function that we have to offer, including the ones that we get from external, from the original templating language Jinja we're using. So everything is in here and they're searchable either via Control-F on your keyboard, right, through your browser, or just searching for whatever you want, like get the entities in an area. Look at that. We have this page here again.
so much. It's like being able to do a search without doing Control F on it and finding the right thing you're actually looking for is so sweet. It's really nice.
Yeah, so this is it. They can find everything. This works throughout the documentation. So if I go into, like, I don't know, let's pick up WLED. I know there's an example in here, or a little automation in here. Like, here's an automation. You can actually see this is also working. So if you're looking at some random template page or some random page where an example is there, you're like, what the hell is this? You can actually click on it and it'll learn more. So we try to interconnect and build a learning way and a course to actually dive into. This is the part of documentation that we absolutely want to do more and more. And this is the structure we're working towards, and you can also expect to happen for the whole purpose-specific triggers and conditions. Some parts of this are actually already visible. Look, I can hover over effect, and it will actually tell me this is a light effect. And I can click on light.turn on to learn more about the light.turn on action. The documentation here is not complete yet for the triggers, conditions, and actions. We're working actively on that, but for the lights, they're already there and working. I'm really stoked about this, actually, to be fair. Personally, I am.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna.
Yeah. Hit that like
thanks.
button if you like the documentation. There's 800 of you. How many likes do we have? I don't have the thing pulled up right now. Chat, tell me how many likes we have. We should have more than that, though. I'm already sure of it.
Yes.
But this shows a little bit of the direction for documentation we go through, right? And I'm excited for what's coming because we can apply this to so much, right? We can do whole automation warnings and scopes and scripts, and how do you handle scenes? And even if you want to dive deeper in YAML, like, how does that work? But this is a long-going process, right? We have thousands of pages in Home Assistant. Home Assistant is a huge product, so this will definitely take time. Do you see a page where something is wrong or something isn't working? Every single page has this little block in the bottom where you can provide feedback, or even if you're comfortable with doing that, so, like, give us an edit of how you think what should change. So definitely go there. This is on every page, every integration page, just on the button. Click that and provide us feedback. It's very helpful.
And I think the feedback way is one of the easiest ways to contribute to the project, because it's really easy to just do an edit on the page and submit the PR. It's normally accepted very quickly, especially if it makes sense. But it's one of the easiest ways to contribute to the project if you don't know how to code.
Yeah, definitely. So I was actually showing this to Bram. Bram is our lead front-end engineer, and I was like, this is so cool. I have now the syntax highlighting and this hovering and such. And it took a few days, and this is where it bleeds into Home Assistant. It took a few days that he came back to me. He was saying, like, listen, I did a thing. We're now back in Home Assistant, and this is the developer tools and the template editor. This could be just as well be a random automation or trigger. But what Bram did here is basically picking up the pace here, and I can hover over the different functions here and actually go back into the documentation again in case I want to learn from it. You won't see it. It pops up in a different screen, but it brings me directly to that page in case I want to learn more. There's more to this actually as well, because we have here a state of, which tells me which is the state, if that is the state right now, of sun.sun, and I can actually hover over it and see that the sun state currently is below horizon. So this will probably not pass right now. So it will actually also give you back the live state of entities on hover, which is absolutely brilliant. You can even go a step further, because like we have now autocomplete for templates as well. So I could do like state, and then state entity shows up and I can automatically complete it. And while I go over this list here, I actually see the live states happening on the site as well. So I actually need developer tools a lot less, to be fair. I can just see what I'm picking and what it actually is. So this is so powerful, and this works for so many things. This works for areas as well. Area name. I think this works. There we go. Look at that. So we went all in here, and this is absolutely so cool that this landed in this way, and I cannot wait to see what's happening to the next part for automations and things like that in a way like this. Proud of what happened here. It's so cool.
Oh, this is-
Came together.
Yeah, I really also like the cross pollination where like you improve the docs and we can feed that directly into the front end and making that all part easier. This is like a teaser for what's coming to ESP Home soon.
Oh, right, the new device builder
Yeah.
UI.
We're gonna this is
Ooh.
actually we're gonna do if you are sticking around for the after party in 15 minutes on Discord, we will show a demo of the new ESP Home device builder. Plus, we'll teach you how you can try it today as well.
Oh, that's good. But if you're just interested in looking at it, we actually showed parts of it and talked about it on the State of the Open Home as well. Not as good as the demo, I can tell you that already. But if you're interested, those are the two places to go. Like,
Yeah.
especially after this broadcast, we're going to Discord. We have a community stage there. We will happily spoil some more and answer all your questions there. All right.
I dropped the invite link to their server in chat. So if you're not already in there, get in there because that's where we're going to be talking more about that.
All right. I'm going to show the new integrations and talk a little bit about that. Paul, in the meantime, do you have the demo integration, by the way, active in your system?
The demo integration.
Okay. Then you probably are maybe up for a small UI change that you can show in a bit. Was a
I
hint.
think so.
All right. Anyhow, we have Denon. We talked about that. We have Duco. Thank you, Ronald. I want to say Duco. That's somebody else, but also coming in at Platinum. It's quite the achievement to do that, man. Very well done. What else? We have a few myths from me. This is what Missy was referring to earlier in the stream about lighting up the wood here. I built an integration for my pellet stove, full control of it. Very nice. Well, I say I. That's not true. AI did it fully.
AI, not I.
Not I. AI. What the thing was, that is really my top experience of this. It was fully reverse engineered using AI, which is the more impressive part and building the integration, to be fair. Telling after 2 days of doing things and asking the AI, well, prove it that it works and turn it on, and it turns it on, was quite the experience, I can tell you that. Anyhow, Honeywell strings that have been demonstrated by Keith here. Super cool. Kiosker. It's a little bit like, what's it called again? Fully kiosk. Browser, an alternative, that's cool. Novi cooker hood. Works with RF there, just like the Honeywell string lights. Nice to see. We have Omi. Not sure what that does. Energy prices.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, and the end Victron, also energy, by the way. And the radio frequency is here in the middle as well, which has its own whole topic in the top as well, of course. But yeah, that's definitely a new base component that's landed here. Good list of new integrations landing in core. Always nice to see. We have some noteworthy improvements to existing ones as well, which is a huge list. As said, this was a large release. I'm not going all over them. If there's anyone seeing anything they'd like to pick out, please do a shout out. For me, I think Sonos stands out because I have a lot of them. There's now a switch for TV autoplay. If you have one of those soundbars, that's really helpful to have there for automatically grouping and ungrouping. So I'm very pleased with that one being added. Thank you so much. Music Assistant is being expanded quite a lot inside Home Assistant. Always nice to see. WLED got a whole bunch of more improvements, by the way. This is like really a feature added, but there's a whole lot of changes under the hood of WLED, which is really nice. So update support should now be way better and things like that. So that's super cool. Thanks for everybody who contributed to that. What else do we have here? That's interesting. Tado, if you've been frustrated with that, and now handles the dynamic update intervals a little bit better, so you don't get rate limited as much by Tado as it should be. Should be a little bit more resilient to that. If you're interested in spending AI tokens, we have now Cloud Opus 4.7 support.
So exciting.
It's so expensive, but it works.
So the image one I'm super excited about, because last release, if people remember, we launched Open Display. Open Display is a firmware for e-ink screens to like put pictures on e-ink screen. This is, for example, Seed Reterminal E1003. This is actually an e-ink screen, and it runs Open Display. You can send pictures to it. And when we added it to Home Assistant, we on purpose made it very limited, that Open Display can only accept an image from the media browser, because the goal is that the media browser has to provide all the media, right? That is what the media browser is for in Home Assistant. And so this release, Image, which is the self-hosted photo platform that you should definitely check out if you're into self-hosting, self-host your smart home, self-host your photos. Image can now send those photos to your display, and then it will automatically be dittered, right-sized, and be fitted on your screen. So it's really cool.
I've set up and installed Image this weekend actually in my home,
Nice.
which I now uploaded the first 13,000 photos into it. It is pretty amazing, to be fair. I'm super impressed of how it works.
Yeah.
I fixed the backup part yesterday, so I now feel comfortable in putting more stuff in it. It's absolutely nice. Portainer, London Underground, the list goes on and on. If you see anything in here, I would definitely take a look. Oh, here, Open Displays in here as well.
Yeah, it supports the batteries. It's nice.
Super nice seeing that. Then we have a bunch of integrations that reach quality scale improvements, which means they're now super well stable integrations that you can actually trust and rely on and give you a great user experience out of the box in general as well. Yeah, there's a nice list here. Very good. Big names to see here, like Samsung Smart TV raising up, Twente Milieu, which nobody knows, but it's the garbage pickup of my region. You're just saying. But there's a mix of everything.
It's a garbage integration. No one needs to deal with that.
It's a trashy thing.
Trashy thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's for the new integrations. We also have available for in the UI PG Link and Pico TTS. If you're looking for a very lightweight, simple, not the best sounding, but okay TTS, then that's there too. We say goodbye to LAN Announcer because the app is no longer available. It's been deprecated for a long time, and it's now gone. We do have some other noteworthy changes to highlight. We have, something, Laura?
Yes, that first one is kind of my favorite.
Oh,
so
it is.
Now it is, and actually, give me 1 second, just 1 second to just.
You're going to show it?
Yes, because I'm so in love with this. It's not even funny. I physically scream with that. Like, full context, I'm not a notifications person. It takes me. It's a barrier that I've never crossed, and by the time that I got to cross it, it's like, oh, now I need to learn to do the script. On top of everything else, I was already knee deep into ESP Home, so it's like, this is not worth my time now. But now, actually, we are capable of doing this, which again, if you build notifications, this is something that it's not useful for you. But for me, being able to just be like, hey, this is my phone, be able to say, send a notification message to this phone. It's amazing. I mean, I did actually my own notifications in like 5 seconds instead of needing to work all the steps, all the complexities. So this is just a first step, of course, limited to just text, title and text. But now it's empowering a lot of people that don't have a lot of context or have scripted automation works to be able to just send super simple notifications as part of an automation. And I'm so in love with this. I did like 3,000 of this.
The big difference compared to what was previous there is that you now can just add another target, right?
Exactly.
You can just send a message to multiple, which is amazing.
Yeah. So it's a huge one for me too, because all of like the bills need to be paid and our chores in the house, notifications go to mine and my husband's phones so that we actually stay on top of everything. And I had to do that whole entire script. I have scripts that go through everything and send it all. This will 100% simplify everything that I have. So I'm going to disable all of my old ones and try to rewrite them in this and see how well it actually transfers over. See if I need to tell them to do better. But so far, it looks like it'll be perfect one-to-one.
Yeah. And this was also contributed by Trentor26. So thank you.
Yes,
Of course,
which was actually on the roadmap as well. So he completed
Yes,
the roadmap
it
item by
was-
contributing it. Thank you so much for doing
Yes.
that. And this is how we together build something out. Somebody in the chat said like, hey, notifications really need some love. And we do agree, right? This is the
Yes.
enabler.
Yes.
By using, migrating and going through a standard model that we all used to, right? Like turning on lights through entities or areas and whatever, the whole structure of how things work in Home Assistant, we're bringing that to notifications too. That means that we also can get specific actions for certain notifications, like send an actionable notifications or alert on an emergency notification or whatever the device that you're targeting supports is something that we're already really used to, right? So this is an enabler for more UI experience in the future. I'm looking forward to that, to be fair.
Yeah, because it's the actionable thing that I actually use the most for it. So we do actions on it, which resets to-do lists specifically. So our to-do list is up to date. Or if we don't do it, then we have a remind me later, and then it pauses the script and it'll rerun it a little bit later. So my shit's pretty complicated when it actually goes through. Being able to simplify it will be very, very nice.
Yeah, I use it the same for my trash. Like I keep being buzzed until like I hit that action.
Yep.
All right. If you have a massive amount of ESP home devices like our friend Keith has and showed us earlier, if you now go to the ESP home integration page, there's a search bar. So Keith can now actually find that one device in that massive
that's
list he
very
was
nice.
looking for. Small improvement of life there, which is cool. There's some changes around visibility, which is more of a default. Also quality of life improvement. If you now want to set the visibility on a condition based in a card, you will notice the entity that you have in that card is actually automatically already selected in that condition. Makes it just a little bit quicker and easier to find stuff. So that's really well and nice done. Then we have template support for vacuum rooms. But talking about vacuums, Paul, do you have?
I
the
am
demo?
ready.
You're ready because we have this release new vacuum information pages, which I think are
And they're
absolutely lovely.
gorgeous.
They are. Look
Yeah,
at that.
so we have this new look for more info. And so if you start playing, you can see that it starts vacuuming and it's like animation. Now, if you're saying, okay, why don't you go back? Then now it will return to the dock.
So cute.
And then, of course, when it gets docked, you will see it like move back again. I'm not sure. This is a demo. This is not my actual vacuum. So I'm not sure exactly when it will be docked. Now, the other thing that's added here to this, which I also really love, is the cleaning by area.
This is beautiful.
So you have to, we also, in a few releases ago, we allowed you to map your areas to the areas of your vacuum. Now you can say, oh, I want you to clean just the kitchen. Boom, start cleaning. And now it's going to clean the kitchen, right? And so it's very easy to send your robot on its way and just do its thing. And not only did we update this one, we also updated the lawnmower more info, which has been a very similar functionality. I don't have a lawnmower demo entity right now, but it also looks good.
Let me give you a little overview on the release
Oh, yeah.
notes. It looks very similar, behaves in a similar animation way as well. Very well done. Very nice, to be fair. Here's a different view on cleaning areas that looks more from a real instance. How beautiful it looks, like cleaning areas in a certain way. You check the boxes and just go. I think it's beautifully done. There's actually an order in there as well, as you can maybe see. I'm not sure if that's visible, but it will take the order you click things at.
Mow by room.
Yeah.
Mow by room. Yeah, that's not. All right. This I'm going to show through the screenshots. We have standardized the toggles, the switches across the board that you see in the settings panels into like the dashboards and wherever they are now all similar and no longer styled differently. In every place looks like a different switch. So it's now all nice and consistent. It might be a little bit of a weird thing when you land on the first time, like what happened here? Something is different. Well, that's that. It's the switches. They are now consistent, which is nice. The template documentation, we talked about that. I'm going to scroll past this one because I actually want to quickly touch upon the backward incompatible changes. There are a few highlights here. This release, not too many, but if you already played with the purpose-specific triggers and conditions, again, without stuttering at this point, you can actually, or we actually have removed a few that we've removed based on feedback. We're bringing them back. So they are related to zones and persons. These purpose-specific triggers and conditions have been temporarily removed because we're going to work on a better economic way based on feedback. There is a workaround for it for now, which is the old way, which has been described here as well. But if you've been using them already in production, that's like the thing about the preview features. Things might change. We learn from insights and we try to move forward in a better way. This is one of the cases where we actually made a change that might impact you. So we're communicating that. Otherwise, ring, if you automated ring through the event types manually, ring became ding. So the ring does no longer a ring, but does a ding. Did a ding, does now a ring. So the ring ding event now does whatever, that whole thing ding. Read it 3 times and then you will probably understand it. It has to do with the purpose-specific triggers and conditions in order to support that and standardize that. The whole ring ding has been fixed.
Can we get sing too?
Yeah.
It's for your bird, Keith.
Right?
Sing, yeah, exactly. And otherwise, yeah, there's not much to say. Like supervisors will now potentially error if a backup fails, which you might have expected already if you use that action. It didn't. It will skip over it, but now it will tell you. So it might be unexpected and a little bit away. So there are little things. Look at it. It's not otherwise not too big of a deal, to be fair. And that. Oh, here are all the developers blogs in case you looked for them. There are quite a few this month.
But definitely look out for radio frequency and we're registering your custom dashboard strategies. Serial, if you're into Serial, please check out Serial X.
Yep. I guess
that's it.
That's it. 2 minutes over time for this release. Yeah.
This is like 5 releases in one. This is amazing.
It is so much.
Oh, it's a lot. Even scrolling through it, it's a lot. All right, go check the release notes and check them out. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot to be found. There's a lot to explore. I hope we have delivered something for everyone this month, regardless if you're a long-time user or if a power user that wants to do customization things or a beginner that wants to easier automate and you want to feel welcome to. I hope everybody finds something in this release that is to their liking. And for that, please hit the thumbs up down there.
Yeah, hit the likes.
Hit the likes, hit subscribe, and all the other YouTube stuff people say we're very bad at, but still going to say it.
Ding the bell, ring the bell.
Ring the bell, ding the bell.
You're not
ring.
the YouTube people.
I'm not sure what a standard is now. God.
I love it.
All right.
And don't forget to join Discord.
Yes, so
we're going to have an after party.
We're going to have an after party on the Discord of Home Assistant. Make sure you join us on the stage. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa or buy one of the official hardware. The majority of the profits all go to the Open Home Foundation, and that is how we are able to build all this cool stuff. As we've also said in the State of the Open Home, it's worth watching, but we give everything away for free. We just do the things you want. You can keep us accountable through our roadmap. There are no investors. It's all cool, real, free, and awesome. So thank you all for watching. Maybe see you in the after party. Otherwise, enjoy the release.
Enjoy the release and see you next month.
See you next month.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah?
Yeah, you do it.
Right? Yeah, okay. I will.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.